Hi everybody, this is TECHNolli, and today we've got the Gigabyte Aorus B450 that you guys have been wanting me to Hackintosh. So guess what? We did it. It was not just a piece of cake, but it turned out nice and it worked. And we've got everything, and we're doing the whole thing so you can see the whole video and how you can make your own USB stick. So there it is. It's a beautiful board. Here's all your inputs on it. Get rid of this. So you got enough USBs there for just about anybody. Right here, this USB, this top one, is the one that I used for my keyboard and mouse. And if you use this one, the sleep works. It works on this board. So kind of unusual for sleep to work on a Ryzen, but it does. And I was really happy with that because I hate when sleep doesn't work. So there we go. It was a nice, a little bit of a struggle, but we got it. And this is a detailed video, guys, and we're going to show you everything, including even putting in the serial numbers. I am using this XFX 570 Radeon graphics card, and these are just plug and play, guys. Just plug and play. So there we go. All right, let's get started on this one. Okay, guys, here we are. I hope everybody's feeling well, and I hope everybody's getting through this craziness we're going through right now with the virus situation. But let's watch some Hackintosh videos, and maybe that will get us going here so you can do your own Hackintosh. I love it when you guys tell me that you're just ordered your parts and you're going to be building your unit and everything. I think that's great and makes me feel good. So I'm going to do the complete version on this because you guys like to see it. This is on that Gigabyte B450 that a lot of you have asked me to do a video on. And it had a little bit of a trickiness on it, so I want you to make sure that you do use my Quirks, because this Realtek Quirks is kind of a special one. It was kind of hard to find. It supports the onboard LAN that's on this motherboard. So we're good to go there. So let us get started. We're going to start with an old thumb drive, okay, and we're going to erase it. And we're going to load Catalina 10.15.4 on this thing. So let's show all devices here on our disk utilities. Go here to our actual thumb drive itself, and we're going to name it USB, and we're going to leave it Mac OS Extended and GUID partition map. We're going to erase it. Okay, we're all done with that. So now it's erased, and here it is. Now, guys, you want to make sure whatever computer you're using, and of course for this video you're going to have to use a Mac, that the install right here, the install Mac OS Catalina, is in your applications folder. Now I of course downloaded it from Apple, and I got the latest version. You don't have to use the latest version. You can use 10.15.3 if that's all you have. You could use Mojave if that's what you wanted. So but I've got the latest version right here. So now we're going to just run over to the internet, and we're going to grab a text file. So first type in make USB Bootable for Mac. All right, we got this Apple website, and we're on Catalina, so we're going to copy this text all the way to the / before my volume and copy it. Close out of here. We'll go up to Spotlight and type in terminal. Okay, and we will click and paste, and then we need to type in USB because that is what we named our thumb drive. Hit enter, put in a password. Right here we're going to click yes, and then that's going to install our Mac OS on our USB. And when we get back, after about 20 minutes, this USB will be ready to go so we can get Opencore installed on it. Okay? So I'll come right back. Okay guys, so here it is. It's all done. You can see where the screen ends up, and here is our USB stick with our install macOS Catalina on it. So we can close out of here. Now, in the description below, you'll be sent to my website to download these files. Okay, so you'll have all of these files, and right now we need Opencore, and this is version 0.5.6. And right here we've got Clover configurator, and we're just using Clover to mount our EFI partitions. EFI partitions are hidden, so right now we need to mount the one that is on the USB. So we'll right here, here's my USB, we're going to mount, put it on, and then right here we'll have the EFI partition, and there's nothing inside of here, right? So what we need is this Opencore EFI folder. This EFI folder needs to go into our EFI partition on our USB stick. I'll close this out. And so now that we have that in there, we're going to also grab out of the docs folder on our Opencore 5.6. We're going to grab our sample plist, but we're going to go double click, and we're putting the config or sample plist in here. Okay? Then let's rename it before we forget to config. All right, now we're moving along. Okay, so right now we have nothing under ACPI. We have these files under drivers, and I just want you to grab them all and move them to the trash. And then Kext, we don't have anything. And then under tools, we have these files, and just grab them all and move them to the trash. Okay, so here's the drivers that we need, and you downloaded these from my website. This is all that we need. So we'll just go under here, grab these, copy, paste them into here, and then we'll go out of here and we'll go over to our Kext, and they are right here. And these are, well, one of these is a little special, this one right here. So make sure you use mine, okay? Just make your life easier and use mine. And paste them into here. All right. Now, we need some SSDTs. So, rather than me just giving them to you, I'm going to show you how to make them. So let's go over here to the web, and let's go type in Opencore. All right, and then this will pop right up. Opencore Vanilla Guide, and we're going to go down here to AMD because we are doing a Ryzen. Okay, so we're going to need a couple of files. We're going to need this Ryzen Threadripper. So let's download this. And ooh, look, you can't download it. We have to go through another step, guys. So click on raw, go up here to Spotlight, and grab a text editor. Okay, and then change right here format to make plain text. And then let's grab all of this, copy, and put it into here. All right, then we're going to go File, Save, and we're going to save it to the desktop. And we're going to name it Patches. .plist. Okay? And it says, do you want to use text.txt? And I say, no, I want to use plist. All right, so that's done. Okay, now we're also going to need our little program to compile these SSDTs. Okay, so we're going to need this Mac IASL little program to make these SSDTs. All right, so let's do this. Let's double click on our little program, and it says you can't open it. So what you have to do is right click and open, and then open. All right, there it is. Now go up here and go File, New. We can close out this one. All right, set it over there. Now we'll click on here and it'll take us to all of this machine language stuff. We're going to start at the bottom and go all the way up until we see on this one right here, definition block. We don't want anything above it, okay? And just right click, copy, and paste it into here, and then go File, Save As, and this is called the SSDT EC-USBX. Okay, very important here, guys. Let's save it to the desktop. And we have to change this file format to ACPI machine language, okay? And that will save it as an AML file, all right? Okay, so we're done with our little program. Now we want to go over here, back over to our guide, and just download this AML. And this one's just a download. So we download it, and we'll put it right here on the desktop. Okay, so let's get done with these programs. So in our EFI partition, in our EFI folder, under OC, under ACPI, we need to drag both of those AML files into this folder. Okay? All right. So next, what we have to do is make our config.plist. So in order to do that, we're going to need proper tree, which you've already downloaded. Double click on proper tree command, say OK, and then go File, Open, and we want to go to the EFI partition, to this EFI folder, to OC, and then config.plist, and click Open. Okay, now this is where a lot of magic happens. Let's go ahead and just remove these warning lines. We don't need them in there. Okay, you just right click on them and remove them. All right, now what we want to do is go up to File and go OC Snapshot, and then it'll come up to here. We want to make sure we're on our OC and click Choose. And that just made a bunch of changes to our config.plist. It put in our kex into our config.plist, it put in drivers, and it also put in these two SSDTs. But look, this one says false, so we need to double click on it and change it to true. So both of them are turned on. Okay, now let's go back to the wonderful people over at Opencore. And let's continue on because we're done down to here. So underneath right here, ACPI, which is right here, ACPI, we want to go down here to where it says Quirks. Okay, right here. And we're just verifying that whatever it says here, no equals false. Yes equals true. So no, which is all of these right here, right here. So we're okay. Bootloader, which is right here. Everything is, I believe, fine, but let's check it and make sure. Okay, avoid runtime defrag, true. So no, and then enable safe mode slide, true, and the next one is true, yep. And then we'll go down here to provide custom slide, and that's true. The next one's yes or true. And we're good by default. Okay, let's go down to device properties. We're right here. Everything is fine. And then we get to kernel, and we're going to come down here to where it says patch. Right here is where we're going to patch our config.plist with our Ryzen Threadripper patches that we made earlier. So let's do this. Let's right click and remove. Now let's go back up to kernel and get ready. All right. So now we're going to go over to File, Open, and remember the patches folder that we made with the text editor? We open it up. We go here where it says patch, right here, right click, copy, then go over here next to kernel, right click, and paste. That's it. We're done with that. I'm just going to go ahead and go File, Save. All right. So we're down to the next step, which is Quirks, and Quirks would be under right here. So we want to verify all of these, and I notice all of these are no until I get to dummy power management. Dummy power management should be true. And let's see, everything else, no, 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 no. And then panic, no text dump should be true. And the next one is true. Power timeout. And port limit right there. That one should be true. It's for your USB stuff and mapping. All right, so now we're down to miscellaneous, which is way down here because we got this patches in here. Okay, miscellaneous. All of this stuff by default is okay. We can come on down here till we get to disable Watchdog, and disable Watchdog is right here, and this should be set to true. And then we have target should be 67 right here. Target for us would be 67, and then we want to change this display level to this number, so we'll just double click on it, copy it, double click on it, and paste it. All right, so this is security, which everything here I believe is fine, but let's verify it. Nope, they're not fine. Okay, this is security right here, so we need to change some in here. True, true, false, no, 6, right here. Scan policy should be 0, and vault should be optional. Don't forget that one. Don't forget any of these, but that one's a real important one. You'll get stuck. Okay, Nvram. Now we got some changes to make here. Everything here is by default okay. We have to put in these boot arguments. Okay, right here. So we already have a couple. We have -V, which is our verbose mode. That is the text that you see when you're booting up a Hackintosh. When you're done with your Hackintosh, if you want to remove the text, you just come over here and remove that -V. So let's double click here, and let's put a space in between this one and our next line. We want to put in this debug line, copy it, and paste it into here, and then a space. We're going to need this npci, put it in here, paste it, and space. Now you're gonna need, you may need this and probably will need this, and I would suggest you put it in this line right here if you're using a 5000 series graphics card, like a 5500, a 5700 Radeon. You're going to want to put this in here. I'm not using it, so I don't need to, but it doesn't hurt to have it in there. So if you're going to use a 5000, go ahead and put it in there. All right, then let's grab this one for sure. This is for our audio. Okay. All right, so there we go. Okay, so we come down here to this NVDA_DRV. It says right here that we should delete this line right here if we're using AMD. So I'm going to remove it. And then right here's our preferred language. Right now it's set to Russian. So I'm going to grab this right here. This is for English. And then there are other languages right here. If you click Apple Keyboard Layouts text, it'll take you to other languages. All right. So now we'll go down to the next area here. And here we're all okay except when we get to write flash. We need to change this to true. And then platform info, which is right here. We definitely need to change a few things here. We need to change this. This is a Ryzen system, so we're going to change the system product name to iMac Pro 1,1. Hit enter. We're good. Now this area right here, this is a serial number for the motherboard, serial number for the system, and UUID number. This is where once you get booted up, we're going to change your numbers so you can try to get iMessage and all of the other wonderful things that Mac provides to work. But it's not just as easy as that, and I'll show you why. So let's finish up here. Let's go down to UUID, or I'm sorry, UEFI, right here, UEFI, and everything is fine until we get down to Quirks. Clear down at the bottom here, and we just need to make sure that these are set properly. Request boot var right there should be true, and then the next one is true, and everything else, and that one's false. So we are good to go. We are ready to boot our computer. We've got everything injected. We've got everything set properly, so we should have no problems. Let's go to File and Save. If you don't file and save, then none of the changes will take effect. Okay, let's get into the BIOS on this one. This one's a little bit trickier, and I want you to maybe take a picture of each screen just so you have everything. Okay, all right. Okay, we're hitting that delete key to get into the BIOS. All right, here we are. Okay, guys, so I want you on this one to just go over to BIOS and let's check these items first. We want to make sure everything is just like you see it here. So fast boot is disabled, CSM support is disabled, and then secure boot down here is disabled too, so we're good. All right. Okay, now let's go over to peripherals. I am using my Radeon 570 graphics card, so I've got my PCIe slot because onboard graphics on Vega series chips, which would be the Ryzen chip, is not supported in Mac OS. So we have to use a graphics card. Okay, so HD audio controller is enabled, but above 4G decoding is disabled. We'll go trust computing, we don't need to worry about. Super I/O, both are disabled, the serial and the parallel port. Don't need to worry about this. USB configuration, just like you see it here. 1, 2, 3 enabled, this one disabled. Auto down here. NVMe configuration, there's nothing to change. RGB, we're not messing with RGB right now. Network stack is disabled. And everything else by default is fine. Okay? Chipset. We want to have auto, AHCI for SATA mode, and everything else just as you see it here. This was a little tricky. I had to play with this for a little bit to get it to work right. Power. What's weird is I have the sleep mode working with this with the settings that we have right here. So don't touch this. Just set it up just like this if it isn't set up like this. So just set it. Just have all these settings the same on yours, and your sleep should work fine. If you're using the USB port above the PS2 connector for your wireless keyboard and mouse. That's what I have mine plugged into, and it's working. So we'll go over here and we will choose Save and Exit Setup. Now I've got my USB stick in there, so I'm going to get started with the F12 on this motherboard. MSIs are F11 to choose the boot menu, but the Gigabyte is F12. So save and F12, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go down here to my SAN disk, which is my USB, and hit enter. Okay. Now, right here, I want to go down and choose number 4 on mine. It says install macOS Catalina external. That is my USB. We're going to go through some text on this, but it's pretty fast. And we'll come back up here in just a second. Yeah, we get hung up on a couple of lines, but it goes pretty quick on this one. This is our Ryzen, so, you know, they are fast. Okay, now we get to the fun part. Let's go ahead and go to Disk Utility and format our hard drive. Alright, we want to definitely choose View and Show All Devices. Here is my internal NVMe, and we're going to click Erase and call it whatever you want, guys. I'm going to call it what? Ryzen B450. Okay, then I'm going to change this to APFS because we want that format, and GUID partition map, and erase it. It's funny, I've noticed on these Ryzens that they take a little longer sometimes to format the hard drive, so I don't know why. But we're done with that. We go up here to Install macOS, click Continue, and then Continue, and Agree, and Agree. Here is our Ryzen, so we'll click on there and click Install. Alright, this takes, well, it says about 3 minutes remaining. 4 minutes remaining. So we'll see how long it takes. But it's going to get up to about 2 minutes remaining, and it's going to reboot. Yeah, it says 5 minutes now. So we'll come back when it gets closer. Thanks. Okay, guys, you notice that the hard drive is showing up as an external. Well, we've got a fix for that at the end of the video, so don't worry. And by the way, this is a great opportunity right now to subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel, you guys. Come on now. You'll get updates if you hit that bell every time I put out a new video, which is about 3 times a week. You will get notified that there's a new build or a new Hackintosh or something new that's coming up. There it goes. All right, leave your USB stick in the computer, and we're going to boot from it again. You don't need to press anything on the keyboard. Just let it come up. Okay, now what we want to choose is Mac OS Installer. That is our hard drive. Just hit enter on that, and away it goes much faster. And here it comes. Coming up to that next screen where it's going to continue the installation. Okay, about 12 minutes remaining, it says. And this will pretty much go all the way across, guys, so just hang in there with it. All right, less than a minute remaining, and this is where it's going to reboot for us. All right, so let's leave that stick in there. We still need to come up again. Okay, now we're going to see what we named our hard drive, which is the Ryzen B450 is what I named it. So we'll hit enter on that. We'll get up here. It's just finishing the install. there goes the GPU fans. They spin up. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish up here. Let's just select our country. We'll finish up this install here. Continue, continue. I do have my Ethernet cable plugged in, but I'm not going to sign into Apple because I haven't changed any serial numbers yet. So I'm going to skip, and agree, and then we'll just name it whatever, and put in a password. And there we go. And we'll just enable and take the analytics off. That's up to you. Set up later. Yep, Siri, we'll take you. And we'll just leave it on dark mode since we had it on light mode when we started. Okay, now just tell it what kind of keyboard we have and we are done. So now if we go over to About This Mac, we've got our, this is the Ryzen 5, and it is the 3600, so 3.6, 32 gigs. And there is my Radeon RX 570, 4 gigabyte. So we're good to go. We got our transparent bar, everything's working wonderfully. Now let's get that hidden EFI folder that's in my USB right now into this EFI hidden partition on the hard drive. So I do have a thumb drive with a couple of programs on it that we need. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to use Clover just to mount the drives. That's all I'm using Clover for. Just to mount the drives, and then I'm going to need, let's see, this Gen C MOS to change our serial numbers, and I'm going to need proper tree again. So it's kind of good to have all your tools on another flash drive. Alright, so let's go ahead and use Clover to mount the EFI partition on both the USB, which I'm going to go ahead and close this one out right now because I don't want you to get confused. So right here is my USB, and that's where I need to grab it. So I'm going to put in my password. So there's my EFI partition, and then I need to open up the EFI partition on the hard drive and just click open. If it doesn't ask you for the password, you can just click open partition. There's nothing in here. Grab this one and put it into here. Now notice all of my internals show as externals and my externals show as internals. Well, I've got a fix for that. And so what I want you to do is go here and go into OC, go into ACPI, and I've got a little file for that, a little SSDT that will fix that problem. It's on another thumb drive. Okay, and it's in its hidden partition, so I'm going to open that up. All right, so here it is right here, SSDT-NVMe. All right, now whenever we make a change, guys, this is really important. Had a few of you guys kind of mess this up. Whenever you add or subtract an SSDT, a driver, or a kext, you have to go back into proper tree, open it up, proper tree command, and then file, open, and just go over here to your Mac, and there's the EFI, the folder, the OC, config.plist, and open it up, because right now we don't have that new SSDT that we just put in here. So we're just going to go up to File and do an OC snapshot, and we're on OC, make sure we're on there, and choose, and then there it is, and it is turned on. See, it says true. So we're good. Now we can go File, Save, Now let's reboot the computer, make sure that our drives are showing up as externals and internals and everything's proper. And then we're going to change our serial numbers, and I'll show you how to do that. All right. Okay, coming back in. Let's see if we fixed our problem. Yeah, there we go. So if I go over here to computer, they show up as internals now. So there, that's fixed. Okay, now let's get started on changing our serial numbers. So first, we'll go into Clover and mount the Efi partition on the hard drive. Right there it is. Okay. Let's close this out. And now I'm going to go to property command, and we're going to open up our Efi OC config.plist. All right. Now let's just go ahead and minimize these until we get down to platform. Okay, so here are the numbers we need to change. But I have a new way of doing it. Let's close this out. And let me show you a little easier way to do this. So we'll go over here to our Gen SM BIOS, double click on Gen SM BIOS command, and the first thing we need to do is press 1 to install. All right, then hit enter. And we want to click on number 2, and it wants to know where our config.plist is. So just go up here, OC, and just drag it into here and hit enter. Okay, now it knows where it is. Then press number 3 and hit enter. And then right here is where we type under platform info. You remember we typed in the product name, and it's iMac Pro 1, 1, and hit enter. Okay? All right, so it is done. Let's just verify it. Let's see. Remember before it just had zeros in there? So let's go under property and let's just take a look here and see if it did all the work for us. Open. We're going to open up our EFI OC config.plist. Then we're going to minimize all the way till platform info. Okay. Right here. So there's our new board number, our serial number, and UUID number already done for us, guys. So isn't that nice? Perfect. So we're done with that. Now, so there we go. We've got our audio working. Now the only thing it doesn't work on this is the microphone. I could not get to work, but the outputs work for the TV, for the line outs, all of that works. So we're good there. And of course, everything else is working fine, and sleep is working. And I told you that is if you put your USB dongle in the top black one above the PS2 connector, then your sleep should work fine, because I've tested it on this one quite a bit and it's all working good. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this one's helpful for you guys that love the Gigabyte boards and want to use them. This board was a little bit of a struggle, but nothing major, and we found the right kexts for it and everything, and it's a nice board. I'm very happy with it. So please like and subscribe, and we're going to see you on the next one.